Hey, good morning for Thursday, the 9th of March. So the snow is starting to melt. You can see on the synoptic charts that this low pressure system, which brought a lot of the poor weather to us over the last sort of 24 hours or so, that has started to sort of move up a bit. And with it, that warm front, which sort of was to the south of us during the day yesterday and was where that battleground was, that battleground has moved further north now. And we're into a much warmer air mass. In fact, the BBC was saying this morning that there is about 20-degree temperature difference between Land's End and John O'Groats. So yeah, it does absolutely show the contrast that we've got in the sky today. Those fronts are going to move through, and as we can see, we're now starting to pick up a southwesterly flow. Just look at the difference between the two wind charts again. So +9 down on the south coast, freezing in the Midlands. As we go further up, you can see the temperature does really drop, and also the change of wind direction too. You can see the winds higher up are still being driven by the southwest, but as that warmer air moves in, everything goes to a more southwesterly direction. So yeah, not going to need quite so many winter woolies today. Fortunately, that doesn't mean that we've lost too much in the way of the sort of frontal activity. You can see most of England, Wales and Northern Ireland is covered in cloud. Really, the only nice area that's had some good weather in the last 24 hours has been Scotland, and you can see the glens at the top there, all nicely covered in snow. Public forecast today shows fairly unsettled, mixture of rain, drizzle, low cloud. It's going to be quite breezy overnight. We start to pick up a northerly flow all of a sudden, and we'll have a look at the synoptic as to what's happening there as we sort of keep coming in and out of this air mass change. And you can see over the next few days, the temperature does vary quite a bit actually. By Sunday, actually, looking comparatively mild at 11 degrees, but it does look unsettled. So I'm afraid I don't have too much in the way of spring for you. So next sort of 24 hours or so, this low pressure system will continue to move over us and bring some more unsettled conditions, opening the door to some northerly winds. And as we get towards the weekend, a very, I wouldn't call that high pressure, because it's nearly the same as the ISA. So yeah, it's just going to remain unsettled. We're on a conveyor belt of Atlantic fronts. And looking at our weather radar, most of this to the north of us in the Midlands is falling as snow. All of this falling as rain, and you can see there's plenty of it today. That looks quite nasty indeed. So yeah, the airfield's going to get quite damp, and looks like flying is comparatively unlikely. There's our temperature map for today at 3 o'clock. So sort of 8 or 9 degrees. If you're driving down north, you probably lose 5 degrees. And dew points are sort of sat around 9 degrees as well. So very moist and humid. Currently at Lasham, we have a temperature of 2 degrees. I think if we look at our charts, you can see that's starting to poke up now. So I imagine we'll probably see a degree every hour or potentially even quicker as this warm air moves in. So shouldn't be cold for too long, but damp indeed. And the picture outside, well, it does still look a little bit snowy. Let's just see which way. Oh, we're looking at a pole this morning. There we go. That's a bit better. Bit blurry, but yeah, we've still got a lot of snow left over, but that will get washed away today. The runway, I think, looks relatively good, so hopefully won't delay any of the movements that we have today. Odium currently reporting scattered at 300 feet, overcast 800, low pressure. Yeah, humidity is 100%, and as you can see in this TAF, I mean, it does sort of say you might get broken at 2.5, but I think that's quite unlikely given the forecast. And yeah, lots of rain, very unsettled. And if we look at Farnborough, very similar, overcast at 200 feet, and yeah, not getting much better than 600 to 700 feet. No point showing top meteo, and there is no airspace to be aware of today. So I think flying is comparatively unlikely. You could probably say it's more likely than yesterday, but indeed it's not looking particularly good. Maybe a bit more of a chance as we go into the weekend, but I'm afraid those early signs of spring are not with us currently. I imagine any daffodils that have come out have probably been a bit flattened. all of that. Movement-wise today, we have an A320 coming in from Gatwick at around 1 o'clock. That was supposed to go in yesterday. And we have a 737 going miles and miles to Farnborough at 4 o'clock. So yeah, that's positioning in there. So with that wind in mind, runway 27 will be in use for jet movements during the day. There might be some other movements, light aircraft and whatnot. So we'll just treat the effort as active, and we shall see what we get out today. But yeah, hopefully a little bit more settled at the weekend, but only comparatively so. Bye for now.